Hello, I'm Erica, and you're watching Longevity Lab, a show dedicated to giving you the resources you need to live a longer and healthier life. And today I am joined with Cole Kirshner, who will help you in achieving that goal. Cole's expertise is in biotechnology, and he's the founder and CEO of AgeRate, which is an innovative company that allows you to monitor how well you're aging. So, Cole, thank you for being here. And for those who are unfamiliar with your brand, could you tell us a bit more about it?
Thanks for having me here, Erica. It's a pleasure. Looking forward to chatting. One of the co-founders at AgeRate. At AgeRate, we offer an at-home blood test and a mobile app helps you track and optimize how well you're aging. So, it's all about providing you with the tools and information you need to make smarter lifestyle decisions so you can live a longer and healthier life.
I looked on your website and it tells you your biological age through blood. Could you give a more detailed description of what the difference is between biological age and chronological age?
Chronological age, it's the number of years that you've actually lived. So, when you think about your age, you usually think about your chronological age based on your date of birth, right?
Mhm.
But your biological age is an assessment of how well you're actually aging on a biological level. So, how old you appear to be based on different biomarkers. There's a variety of different ways to measure biological age. There's not one uh, distinct definition of biological age, but it's essentially a way of estimating someone's age. How well are you functioning? Are you biologically 50 years old and chronologically 60 years old? That would mean that you're aging slower. And if you're biologically, let's say, 60 years old and chronologically 50, that means that you're aging faster, right? So you definitely want to have a lower biological age than a chronological age because that reflects that you're actually aging slower than you should be.
Do you find that people who do this, the majority have a lower biological age or a higher biological age?
That's a great question. It's a pretty healthy mix. It's almost like a normal distribution, right? On average, we see about a 3.5 year difference between someone's biological age and their actual age. But that could be plus or minus, right? So sometimes people are 3.5 years older, 3.5 years younger. With the way that we're measuring biological age, we don't typically see a huge difference between someone's biological age and chronological age because it is a pretty accurate test. I think the max we've seen is about 15 years, where someone's actually biologically 15 years younger than her chronological age, which is great.
Wow,
But
okay.
we wouldn't expect to see a huge difference like someone that's chronologically 20 years old have the biological age of someone that's 80, for instance.
There is talk that different organs that we have age faster, like your heart could be stronger than your lungs, say. Does that relate to the biomarkers that you test for?
Yeah, for sure. So biological age, it's can almost be viewed as like a comprehensive metric for your overall health, and there are different organ systems that age faster or slower, depending on your lifestyle and environmental factors. The way we measure biological age at age rate, we're actually looking at epigenetics. So we're taking a small blood sample. It's being processed at our lab, and we're actually measuring thousands of different genes and seeing whether or not they're being turned on or off like a light switch. And that process is done through DNA methylation. So that analysis, it's epigenetics. So we're not seeing what genes you have, we're seeing what genes are actually turned on or off. And
Mm.
as you get older, the genes responsible for your body functioning optimally, they become turned off. So that's the aging process. So that's how we measure the biological age. But as a part of that, we do look at other factors as well. So you mentioned things like the heart, the brain, right? So we're looking at a variety of other scores that we can provide you with through our reports. So looking at things like chronic inflammation, metabolic health, cognitive resilience, frailty resistance. To give you an idea in terms of not only how well you're aging, but giving you indication in terms of why you might be aging faster or slower than normal.
Would you say after all of your analysis that you've done on the different people, is there one system or organ or body that people should pay the most attention to or that is like most important? Because I know that heart disease is the leading cause of death in the United States, so that's what I would assume. But You think that there's like just one thing, if you could say, that someone should focus on?
Great question, right? So yeah, like cardiovascular disease, it's a big one without a doubt. Um, when it comes to the reports that we're looking at, I think that the main one that's really associated with aging is chronic inflammation, and there's even a concept related to inflammaging, right? So a lot of people
Mm.
actually believe that inflammation is one of the key drivers of accelerated aging. So one of the reports we look at, it's actually looking at long-term exposure to inflammation. So it's a chronic inflammation score. So optimizing your inflammation and making sure that it's low and you have a good chronic inflammation score, that's going to be very beneficial in terms of making sure your biological age is on the right track. In terms of lifestyle factors to focus on or things that people could be doing, I think that it's pretty boring, but a lot of the simple stuff actually works, right? So making sure that you are a healthy weight, making sure that you are eating a well balanced diet, these sorts of things. Sleep as well, it's another key driver. So making sure that kind of the fundamentals are in place, and then you can kind of advance the further protocols, interventions, or biohacks, whatever you may call it.
Right, yeah, I know sleep can also indirectly lead to heart failure later on in life, so sleep also is a very important
Mhm.
thing to take care of and to prioritize and value. Okay, so when somebody does this test, right, and say that they do need to work on their inflammation and reduce their inflammation. Is this something that needs to be done every 6 months? Because I've experienced working with a naturopath, and typically that's the protocol where they recommend every 6 months to check your hormones. So is this kind of the same thing where it's not just a one and done thing? You have to send your blood in twice a year or however many times?
Yeah, it's a great question, and I think that the more frequent you get tested, I mean, just the more up to date the recommendations are going to be, and the more capability you're going to have to actually track to see what's working and what's not. So a lot of our users do it on an annual basis. It's definitely not a one and done test. We do have users that opt into a subscription model, which you have on our website, which provides a test kit every 120 days or every 4 months, where people can get more frequent testing done to stay on top of their lifestyle changes and track their progress. So every 4 months to every year would be a good time interval to get the test done.
Are there any success stories or case studies that you can share about someone who completely was able to reduce their biological age or have it be less than their chronological age?
Yeah, for sure. We've heard quite a few different stories, just users reaching out and kind of sharing their test results with us and what they've done, the changes they've made to their lifestyle. I mean, one interesting example is someone that was a heavy drinker and got our test done initially and was accelerating at a faster pace than they should be. And they actually was a wake up call for them, and they decided to quit drinking,
Mhm.
and they came back and they got the test done about a year later, and their biological age was definitely a lot lower than it was initially. I think there was about like a year and a half difference in that time period, so they shaved off like 6 months on their test results, which is great. So yeah, big lifestyle changes like that are definitely going to have a huge impact on the test results. We do have some users that are experimenting with different diet protocols as well and different supplements. So we have one user that's done 5 different tests over the course of 2 months. So a really
Mm.
avid user, and he's been trying out different diet protocols. It's been interesting to see kind of what is changing the test results. And it seems like the Mediterranean style of diet that he just did on his recent test results actually had the biggest improvement in his biological age. So yeah, there's different sorts of techniques and protocols that people can try out, targeting the different scores that we provide. But yeah, that's just a few examples of some of the stories that we heard from our users.
Yeah, that's good to know an exact framework to follow because, so many people, they just try different things and you have to wait around and see for yourself, literally, if it's going to work or not. So, having an actual
Yeah,
framework based on what works best for you and what's tailored to you, based on your own chemistry, your biology, your blood, it's just way more practical.
For sure, and I think that's one of the main benefits of getting a biological age test done. So everyone wants to live a longer and healthier life, right? But
Mhm.
no one really wants to wait until they're 80 or 90 years old to see whether or not the efforts they put in the gym and the kitchen in their 40s and 50s actually made an impact, right? Like no
Mhm.
one wants to wait that long. So being able to have this shorter feedback loop where people can follow a different diet protocol and actually see within such a short time window, like months, that they're actually on track to live a longer and healthier life. I think that's really empowering. And it's important information to have.
Well, this has me thinking, are you in partnership with any healthcare providers or wellness programs?
Yeah, great question. So there are a few clinics that we are partnered with. So our test is for sale through our website, but there are also integrative health practitioners, different clinics that are offering our test, and it's a really good pairing with the protocols that they have as well. You can do a baseline and follow up test, and they use the information to help tailor some of the recommendations they provide to their own patients.
And for your company long term, are there any things that you have in the works or any other goals that you want to achieve?
We have a mobile app where the results are delivered to our users. And I think what's really powerful about having this mobile app is that it allows us to integrate with different wearable devices. So
Mhm.
we're just getting started in that front, and we really want to use some of the wearable data to help further personalize the recommendations you provide to users. So not just having to wait between tests, but even on a daily basis, getting some more direct recommendations and small tweaks they can make in their day-to-day life based off of some of the wearable data too. I think that would be pretty powerful. So that's something the team has in the works.
Well, on Spree, we have the Apollo wearable. I don't know if you're familiar with that,
Oh,
but
nice.
yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, that's the first thing that came to mind, but I've tried it out. It does really help with stress relief because their whole thing is using vibrations to help get you in a state of calm and activate your parasympathetic nervous system. So you just put it on your wrist and vibrations are scientifically proven to calm you down. And there's different vibrations for different things if you want energy or stress relief, whatever. So yeah, maybe there'll be a future partnership.
Yeah, like stress definitely plays a big role in longevity, right? And being able to pair the wearable data from something like an Apollo, right, with some of the blood testing data, I think it's a perfect combination and really provides a comprehensive approach when it comes to improving your longevity.
So we are putting age rate under the longevity category because on Spur we have different categories. So it'll be under longevity if you're interested in finding it for yourself on our website. And yeah, be sure to tag us if you do end up purchasing and share your progress with us so that we could see how you're living longer and healthier. Okay, well, that is all. Thanks again, Cole, for being here. And yeah, see you next time.
Thanks. It was fun.